What, you think we were going to do this? What's going on, people? How y'all doing? We didn't do a show last night. Apologies. Actually had a little family function. Was trying to get down by getting down. Look at this. See this over here? This is natural light. Can you believe it? Don't ask why this damn mask looks like wide enough for like a big chunky person. I don't understand now on myself, but there it is. We're up here now because I don't know why. I'm might play with this glitchy gift, the background here, but we're working stuff. But I had to get a show because I didn't do the weekly show for a change. Um, I don't know if that's really a change. Like I didn't really not want to do that, but like family was distracting me, and I don't mean like it was like pressing or anything like that, but I was enjoying a little bit of family time. So you can understand that. If you can't understand that, well, screw you. But these things get in the way. No, that's not really the case. um, Life doesn't get in the way, but things can. I've been doing some building and some flying and I did some videoing, and you'll get these. I'm just having to sort through them because like some of these are you're not going to really see anything if I post it up there, so I'm not really giving it to you. And do I sound all right, or do I sound like a complete shit? I was just checking. Oh, okay. I had to hear myself, so I double backed on it. Actually, it's a little bit. I should probably. You're gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna do this anyway because what the hell are you doing? Like, just move it down a little bit. Just move it down. There we go. It's down. Down. It's down. It's good. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play with these filters just a bit because I want to see if. Huh? Huh? I could swear I put filters on here. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. How? How? Do you adjust the filters beforehand and then you don't have to adjust the filters no more? Or like what? Oh, that's gay. I'm just looking and seeing. It's like, huh? Okay. Well, I see why is that it's like some of these are not showing up here. I'm gonna do some things, and you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. But here it goes. I'm gonna do these things. Okay. I don't have anything on the gain. I don't know, like if I should put anything on the gain. Because if I had a gain, whoa! See, like it got too loud. I love to make the noise when you do that. Actually, you couldn't even tell I did anything. I don't think you could actually tell that I did anything, so that's okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this up. Like I'm gonna drop the mid range down now. I'm fluctuating. It's down to 10. It does it sound different? Oh, it does sound different. It's a little bit more rich. It's a little bit more rich. Are you gonna go down? We care about rich. We don't care about rich. We just care about people. High end's a little lower. Lower end's a little upper there. There it goes. Okay. I just playing because I know I've got a setting here, but I haven't played with these settings beforehand, and I need to have these settings ready for when we do this stuff. So we're gonna leave it like this for now. Okay, so like now, I sound a little different, but really, does it really matter? I don't care. Do you care? Anyway, so yeah, yeah. So I've been working with these birds, ND26-6 especially here. I got like a fleet more, and I kept them in the car because um, damn, I kept them in the car. But you remember them? They all look like that one. You know, they look. Everybody's kind of interested in them. I'm really interested in them. Um, I got some experiments going on with them, so I think I dug this one the most because I kind of like the V back there. But why am I? I'm in my own way. I'm so big I can't get in my own way. But see the V that's going on between the fins. I kind of digging that. Kind of digging the fact that I cut the rudder off there, so the fins are back behind it. Um, I can't remember if this is the best one or not, but I'm enjoying these mostly because I don't know. It's a bunch of things. There's new and there's a bunch of tech I can put on these, um, and really like seriously, like the ones I've got, like I try new. The other three, did I have the other one here? Hell, I don't even remember. The other three, like I'm experimenting with the weights mostly, and the weights are inconclusive at this time because I just don't know. I got to look into my own fleet and figure out what it is exactly these things can do. Um, they're not. They may not be the interceptor I need them to be, maybe, but I may still get it out of them anyway by things that I might do. So I could get two different aircraft out of these. I could get four aircraft if I upsize them. I always remember that when you're digging with your plane, that like you can upsize anything you have, and then all of a sudden you've got like countless others you can go with because you got your airlifters and bombers that you can create out of this. So I mean, even little things like the Axe aircraft. So, and yeah, we're gonna talk the Axe a little bit tonight because well, Kay was talking about he might have had a little bit of problems with it. And I don't know if you listening, Kay. Are you out there? I'm assuming that might be you. If you just listen, that's fine. If you can get on, I'm ready. But like, just let me know so I can really be ready. Cause damn, I'm gonna have to really switch mid-fly, but I think I could do it. So doesn't matter. I just wanted to get the show out, and I want to get the show out kind of earlier because I wanted to take advantage of this natural light. Even though this is probably going to be something that keeps occurring, especially if I keep doing shows at a semi more reasonable hour, especially since I missed last night's anyway. But I don't know. I kind of feel like weekly should really stay weekly, but and it's a show that everybody gets used to. But these paper flight and more is just they come out. Like you never know when to expect them. So here we are talking about you live. So yeah, again, excited with 26-6, which is monopolizing all my time, even though I've got the others there. Got to remember to go back to the others. And like because like this one was more. I really wanted 26-2 to work, 3 to work. This is 3. So I'm kind of hoping because I really like that little paper clip berry pin in there. Yeah, I really want that one to kind of be because I really like the fact that it's this small. I just I should never have put the stupid ass. You see this stupid ass. Yeah, I suppose taping it down would probably work. I also suppose keeping it in the body would work because they're supposed to be like this when you hold it, but when I fold it, they're like this, and then of course they're probably just they're basically acting as brakes. So that's a no go. That's a no. Even with that paperclip and masking tape around the nose, can you see that? Even that is like ridiculous as far as this thing goes because it's heavy, but it's not heavy enough to counteract all the weight in the folds that is beyond it. There's a ton of folds in here. This is a regular sheet of paper, and this plane is only 5.5 inches long. So 5.5 inches long by 3 3/4 inches wide. So it's like tiny. It's really tiny. I mean, Axe is kind of small, and Axe makes it look big. So or at least Axe kind of hides it. So I figured you were, D. Can you get on? Do you want to get on, or you just want to stay in the background like that? That's okay. I knew I'd launch it. I'm sorry I didn't ask, but man, I just been all over the place. It's my fault. I mean, if you get on, it's fine. If you don't want to, it's fine too. But I will talk about that. And yeah, you should have got a clip, bro. You don't have to get a clip, but you could have got a clip. That might have been all right. You said it sucked. You didn't say outright that it sucked, but you did say that it wasn't as good as it could have been. And I don't know if you noticed, but I mean, there was a couple clips back in my channel from back in the day, because Axe isn't new. It ain't old, but it's not new. And it flew real good. I don't know how many of these flew really good, but I think a bunch of these flew really good. That's fine. Oh, I'm picking on you while you're eating. Yeah. So I don't know what it could be. You son of a bitch. I gotta think it's probably some things that you did with it that you probably didn't want to do with it. I mean, you had said something about the wing curve, and Like, okay, I'm gonna get this out for everybody that builds it. Like, the wing curve is important, but not really. Like, if you can't master it right away, or if you can't get it just so, um, you could probably give it little wingtips, winglets rather. Not like what we deem the anhedrals, but something small, something kind of like that size. You see that okay? Hoping you see that okay. I could. Oh, I could whitewash this. Wonder how bad the natural light is without. Ooh, that's really dark. But you can see. There you go. See it. See the wingtips. They're kind of smaller. I could switch to the overhead, and I may do that here in a minute. But like, that's what I'm talking about. And like I actually I can make that different. But will I make that different? Yeah, who's to say? Who's really to say? I can actually blend me up. Yeah, I could blend me up. See, like, okay, so like there it is. Those are small. In relative to like the aircraft, they're small. And that's what I'm referring to. Like if you do that sort of thing, you can make that aircraft um you can make axe work better because the curve, like you see the curve, it's pretty curvy on this particular one. But I don't think all of them carry. Stop! I'm getting my own way. I don't think I carry all that much curve in all of them. I'm fascinated with it because I'm trying to get rid of anhedrals and winglets that aren't needed for something like that. But um, what's tricky about it, though, I gotta admit that, like, okay, first of all, I think like one thing you should realize that I haven't done yet, but I intended to do with all these is like what Jason Merrill on his channel said and stuff like that is like, why don't you tape these down? You should probably tape these down. I know I may be shell shocked. I mean, like some of my aircraft fly good, and I'm like, I might tape them down, and they would be extraordinary. So maybe I'm holding myself back. It's just that they fly good, so I don't really concern myself with it. But again, a flat air airfoil, unless you're building like a flying wing or something like that, and you're worried about like lift ratio over the wing, under the wing, the teardrop, traditional teardrop shape that the airfoils give you over the wing and the top of the wing, because the top of the wing is always more curved than the bottom of the wing. Well, at least in low speed flying. You're trying to provide that lift. So I kind of see that as like leaving the top up without taping it. And yet I also see where Jason's getting at. If your glide comes straight from like just wing area, and a lot of the planes obviously are kind of like that, then, well, I mean, like if you got a lot of wing area, if you're dealing with a rhombus wing, kind of a la phase 3, phase 4, you're dealing with that rhombus wing. Of course, you're dealing with a leading edge that's like really, the sweep back is, the angle is like really severe. And obviously, rhombus in the background isn't so much, but there's probably a lot of lift in that because the wing area per anything that's like even the weight and then the fuselage is like really ridiculously small. So you don't really have that much to fight. So you could probably build that thing. Don't be expecting it longer than attacker. Well, yeah, no, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's better than short range, like a support plane. Uh, this is for an attacker, like, okay, you're gonna know when we talk about it, like, and you can go back to our videos, but, which I recommend, Kay, not you, Dalton, I don't mean you, but I mean, like, the others, like, he's asking that question about what's the distance for an attacker here in IVPAC, and again, that's like support is immediately around you, say to 10 feet, like almost unnecessary. The shortest range plane you've got, the one that you can probably throw and have it come back to you. Chances are, like a stunter, like you can throw it at the ground and it'll probably pull back up before it hits it, like a true stunt aircraft, which is what your dive bomber is, just bigger. The attacker, further than that. It kind of depends. And D, I know you. I know your yard is like non-existent. So, like, I mean, you couldn't fly at your place if you could fly at your place. It'd either be in a tree or under your deck or in the street already, just by like leaving your damn front yard or throwing it out a window, because you got no yard. So you're in a unique situation. Whereas, like, I think of the average family having a house and a yard, and that yard is I'm sorry, I based it off of mine and my friends that we started, but I mean, we all had, in Germany, we didn't have a yard. We had a yard like yours. But, like, seriously, there was a house, sidewalk, fence, sidewalk, street. So, and they were all like, that was within 10 feet. So I know where you're coming from. But, like, again, in fact, we kind of base it on your house and, like, yours. Okay, yeah, your short range plane and your long range plane, pretty much the same thing. Really, you could probably have like 3 planes do your whole damn thing. I mean, but you have other yards. So anyway, but yeah, 10 feet more, uh, like it requires a short walk to go get it. You know what I mean? Like, like from where you're sitting to your door. No, probably not. I remember your house layout, man. From where you're sitting to your garage. Okay. Seriously, I don't even know where you're at, but anywhere in your house to your garage is short range. For real. It's short to medium. Because I remember we go close to short, short to medium, medium to long. And long is like, yeah, long. Long. Long is just out there. I mean, but see, that's what I mean. Like if you're in your primary yard, all these ranges are relative. And again, this is what we talked about before. It's also like, well, you need a defender. You need something. Yeah, you need to go long range. But by the same token, if your yard is only as big as Deeza's, which is like, okay, his yard is like small, so you don't need something to go like 20, 50 feet. You need something to go like 10 feet. He can get the street from out his window with like a flying bus. Doesn't take much. So that's basically, I would say seriously, if you're on your deck, if you can reach the street, that's an attacker. How about that? Where you normally sit, the driveway. You know what I mean? Because again, I remember your layout. Like if you were in your truck and it could reach like the pagoda where everybody sits out at, you could probably constitute that as close range. But it would be like if you're from your truck, from the driveway to one end, the close end of the pagoda is short range. To the opposite end of your pergola pagoda, that's medium, the short range. Yeah, windy's hard to tell, and these are, like I said, you can't expect much. They're really good though. Like I think the one I gave you was like more basic, so you should expect it to fly kind of like Coyote. I mean, and that is the one that I filmed. So the windy probably didn't help. You said the storm was coming. I could put up with a little bit of humidity, but and you built it. I watched you build it, right? So you built it out of copy paper, so it's about as firm as it can get. So you did that too. I mean, it would have to be a little bit of the curve. Um, and I know you played with it. I mean, did you do the basic one, or did you fly the one that you started playing with the modifications already? Um, I'm assuming you're talking about the basic one. And we can get into that. I'm just like, the basic one was probably, could be the wind. If you're throwing it in at your place, it's probably most definitely the wind, because if it is windy and it's at your house where a lot of the other buildings are in also close proximity, you get weird different wind patterns in areas where you wouldn't. Like if you took that out to La Follette, the wind would probably have helped it out. But in like wind going through buildings, going around buildings, has a tendency to swirl, pick up speed, shoots through areas. So yeah, it'd probably dust an aircraft, right? Yeah, so it's more likely that really than the build. I mean, the curve. Like I said, the curve doesn't have to be exact. If you can't get the curve, put winglets in. Just make sure they're small. And if you want to avoid that entirely, you make it a little bit like the phase, because again, they kind of just turn out that way. But you see the wings kind of cant up. There's a little bit of a dihedral to them. Yes, that's the other term of anhedral. Anhedral is what this case, the tailplane is doing. The empennage is doing it. But like the wings have a little bit of a dihedral, negative incidence, so they're going upwards. So that's why I have them curved down, is because they're fighting the wings going down. So what you could do in that instance is, like, if you do have the wings more up, which is why it has a curve, so that also could be the problem. If these are straight, you don't need to have so much of a curve. I think the plane will fly really good with just straight wings. But if they go up, you can't put the winglet in, or you don't want to put the winglet in, you could put a fold, like, straight through the middle, down the left, like this way, literally just fold that and just kind of like gull wing it so that the inside goes up while the outside goes down. And believe me, that's actually one of the options I was thinking of. Again, we're developing this plane with you guys. It's ours and it's yours, so that's something else for the Axe program, and we did consider it. So I just haven't put it in because I like that curve. Okay. And all four of them did that too? Did you have any that kind of went longer range? Because, like, I mean, that's actually kind of surprising. I don't know. If you were expecting a little bit more, and like they weren't so much coyote like, I can understand that. Okay, wait. I didn't give you that one, obviously. I didn't give you that one either. That one had a nose. I didn't give you anyone with a tail plane. So which fucking one did I have you build? I should know because I took it apart. It was this one. Yeah, because I took it. 8. What? This may seem weird too, but I didn't say anything about taping it, did I? Because, like, hardly any of these are taped. Seriously. The nose is free. Almost all of them. So I didn't have to break them apart. And I think this is the one I had you build. I know this is the one I had you build. Did you clip the tips, by the way? You did clip the tips, right? I don't even know if that's neither here nor there. I don't honestly know if that matters. It's kind of a cooler look. And because I started doing that with coyotes. But that's almost, I think it's just basically aesthetics. I don't even think it's really like for flight. Although I do know it affects flight. I don't think with a plane with a range as short as these are, it doesn't affect flight that much. Yeah. It's like clipping the tip of the fin. Like, you leave the tip up, it looks like a fold. But you clip the tip, and all of a sudden, like, that's pretty realistic aircraft looking. Yeah, well, I mean, it could be you. I mean, hell, I wouldn't get. I know I could tell from your response that you're not down on it. Like, because again, like, you saw the videos, and I saw what you did, and you've seen my videos, so you know the plane flies. And I know you folded it like I did. So I watched you build those. So I know you did it right. So it's not, and like I said, this airplane also is like, I mean, as long as you've got the gist of it mastered and the options you put on, that's right. It's everybody's plane. It's like a world plane. I kind of like that. But, like, so whatever you do, you want to staple the middle, go ahead. You want to staple the nose, go ahead. Pacer, go ahead. And all the modifications that come with it. Flip the winglets up. I've never even tried that yet. Wonder what the winglets up would do. I think because of its design, you're not going to get a glide out of it. You might extend the range. And obviously, well, you see how short it is. It's about as short as it is wide. Like, lengthwise and widthwise, the ratio is about the same. It's a skate version. So, I mean, you're not getting... I should have used that as the... I should use that as my mask up here. Actually, it turns out that this one looking fat is not that bad. It's just... I don't know if I want to use it like a coyote as a mask, because actually that's kind of generic. It's basically just a diamond, you know, why I named it Diamant when it first started out. So, I mean, if I were to use that as a mask, it's like, well, okay, dude is using a square flipped on its side. That's pretty basic. Anyway, I'm not sidetracked. I'm just thinking aloud how I'm going to mask this. Because remember what you said, if we get on, and we all get on, and we all talk like this with masks, I'm trying to find a plane for everybody, and yeah. So, I probably won't use Delta Diamonds. I'd probably give those to Mark, because, like, NASA's is more... Everybody knows him, and he knows him. Like, he's all Delta Diamonds, so I'd probably give him one. And me and you would just have to figure something else out. And others, of course. I mean, then again, we could just use geometric shapes. I don't know. It might end up having to turn out to be logos. Just getting fat. So, I mean, like it or not, mine would have to be a deer. But, I mean, like, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't miss anything. I mean, I don't understand why people had to see us in the first place. I've said, I'm not going on that rant because I've talked about that before, but you know what I'm saying. People don't believe we're real, so they got to see people. Whatever. I get it. You don't like disembodied hands. That looked better too. You got a red background. I like that for IVPAC. You'll get a different background here soon too, but I don't think that's gonna matter much. Anyway, I can say like I should give you this one. I just flashed it up there briefly, but like that one that I was talking about that night that actually has the one back here. It's got the little the body. This is kind of wyvern-esque slash more coyote style. You can see it because it's got the little stinger off of there. All that was, and like, damn, this one. I don't know if this one's gotten wet or not because this one does not, most definitely not. First of all, it is taped, very very small piece, but like you notice, there's no curve to this one's wings at all. As a matter of fact, they go up a little bit. So it's, but I did say there's variations on theme. Like this one does have a tail plane. These are free, and it does have the fin. Of course, that's traditional with any axe. But I'm also thinking about like taping that shut because this one, without my hand holding it, this thing gets really fat. And I'm also thinking about exploring with that too, with you guys as well. Like the one I was just showing, like this one, it's fully taped. There's a piece of tape right here that you can't see because it's pretty damn dark, but it holds it shut. And you see how like the body still wants to separate, but the back comes to a tip. Again, we should probably be taping the entire aircraft. That's fine. But well, thinking like there's nothing saying that when you tape it, it has to be taped like right on. So I was considering that in a case of something such as this, when you tape it, you put the tape on one side, then you hold it so it's only like this far together, so it's still separated. You still got some separation, but the tape will hold it at that separation instead of that wide. Because that's wide will shorten the flight because the back end's starting to act like a speed brake now. And if that's what you're going through, that might be what you're going through. Because like, this will be a lot sharper than having the tail come out there. But normally if you're not playing around with it, something like this, you're going to have it together like this, and this flies. This has no effect. This has no problems. So that's how you do. I'm pretty sure I've flown this one just the way it is, which means I haven't taped it at all. It's completely free down the center body. And it has a slight curve. But like one of the things you got to do, like I've always said this and everybody knows this about you, you build your plane, you try to make sure it's symmetrical. You want to make sure the aircraft is like as symmetrical down the wings. We always talk symmetry. Symmetry is excruciatingly important. I mean, even real planes. And of course, real planes, like when they build asymmetrical, you have to involve the computers. You have to involve fly-by-wire because they're really unflyable. If you were to turn it off, they'd be like, eh. One guy talked about it like the Brits built one at Wharton a long time ago, a Jaguar, that they gave active control technology to. They put little fins down below its intakes, and they put giant canards, which I believe were like tornado tailplanes, on the front end of it. You look into the research on it, it was really cool. And dude flew it, and they like it has with every plane that's like control configured and fly by wire, and they turn it off. They want to see how it flies without the computer. And a dude said like, this was quoting him. He said like it's like driving a bicycle. It's like driving a car. You're sitting on the bonnet of a car being driven, and you're trying to steer a bicycle backwards by the handlebars. In other words, it was pretty damn unstable. And like, so anyway, where that was going was with being asymmetrical versus symmetry. Like these, one of the reasons you tape them is, well, you're holding it together. You're creating less drag all around. But a simple thing you can do is if you do ever want to leave a body untaped, free like this, tape it first so you can make sure everything is symmetrical, because when it's held like this, when it's held together, if this wing matches this wing, the back end matches the back end, if everything's together, everything's the same, it'll fly like that. Then you could actually cut the tape back off and let it go, because the tricky part of having a plane that's free is when you throw it and you hold it, you're obviously holding it together. But as soon as it flies, it's going to come apart. It'll fly like this. So what you needed to do, instead of like, You look at it, you pick it up, you're going to go throw it, and you look at it, you're like, oh shit, the fin's a little bit off, or the wing's a little bit off. So you tweak the wing, but you might be untweaking the plane because you're tweaking it while you're holding it, and it's like that. When it flies, it's like this. So you got to see what's affecting it while it's like that. It's really tricky. Obviously, somebody like Robert with Powerhouse, he doesn't have that problem. He's not affected because those aircraft are flying wings basically and taped, so they're all about out. This is for us to build fuselages and folds and have to worry about those things. It's not a constant worry. It's not something you like really need to even care about. These aircraft, well, who the hell knows really? But I think these aircraft are like, it's who's going to find out what about them and what they're going to do. So I'm thinking again, let me bring it back up though. The Stinger, the thing that I was talking about here. If you remember the aircraft, okay, I'm going to have to do this. Give me a minute because we're going to do this so y'all can do this. I hope this works. I mean, let me get this set up because you guys need to see what I'm talking about here. So you need to see. So you're going to be on here for me for a minute. So, like, I'm going to. I can do this. Thanks for that. I knew it wasn't going to work. mother puss bucket. I know what I'm talking about, damn it. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta do this right. So I didn't want Skype being the one that comes down up on here, because that's what I'm using. It's like, nerd. Like, let's transition again here. Watch you see that. Okay. Better? You don't need that. That's mindless. All right, doubling up. Okay, anyway. You hear me now, right? I knew I was gonna mess that up. All right, doubling up. Okay, anyway. So what I was saying, I was like, I know this is the one that I showed you because this is the one that got folded in around and around. Okay, so now if you want the one with the stinger, the one like so, the one that like this is Wyvern / Coyote-esque because they both do this. Take this fold. This was like one of the second folds. Take this fold. Right? Now, on the plane that I'm using, the plane that I showed you, like seriously, the exact same plane. You obviously how the layout was, right? It's all on the top of the aircraft. Simply take this fold and flip it over the other side. That's it. Like when you get to this point, instead of folding it in, like actually I told you, like fold it in, but unfold it and then fold the tip, right? Just take that one and fold it back out and leave it. Don't do any more folds. I know that's a lot of use of the word. Is fold even a word for you guys anymore? How many times can we fold, and do the fold when you're folding the fold? I'm pretty sure that's not even a word anymore now. I love that. Anyway, hope you understand it. Like I said, it's a fold. It's just simple, and the reason why it makes that different, and like you could almost really consider it a different axe aircraft or a different aircraft entirely, is because it does change the plane a lot. Because when you put this up there, obviously there's a little bit more weight here forward, whereas you put it here, less weight here, and the weight's distributed along the body line. So you have to be prepared for that. I think the vast majority of my aircraft, and the reason why I gave you the one I did, is because that's pretty freaking standard to have it folded towards the front. Matter of fact, like almost every other axe I've got here, which is 9, besides this one, this is the only one that has the stinger. It's the only one that has it down the line. The rest of them, it's folded back in. So you can try it, but I highly more recommend keeping the fold towards the nose. Get that to work first. Plus the fact that you got a lot of stuff to play with if you have that fold up there. For instance, and you wouldn't really want to do this, but you can cut the back of these and then fold these up so there's like a triangular strake that almost looks like a cockpit up here. It's tricky because that has to be in line with this, or else you're going to create some really weird flight problems. But if it does line up and it works out right, it's going to work out really good. Or alternatively, you can cut those and just leave them out in a V. Because they're obviously like the plane's folding out, so when you cut them, they're going to stay out this way and kind of form a V. They'll be like horns, if you will. They'll be sticking up this way. That wouldn't matter too much, I think, to the tailplane. Whenever you add more rudders, you're really kind of like playing with fire with these aircraft. It's one of the reasons why I'm having a problem with 26-6, because these you got to tweak them every flight, especially since the plane, if really messes up, it corkscrews, which means it ends up on its back, which means it starts folding these. And again, like whenever you mess with dual rudders, it's so man, like dual rudders are the bane of existence. Dual rudders want the freaking corkscrew so bad, so you have to tweak these every single time. I believe me, because I've got ideas on this one, which include like this area here, folding these up, which I've actually done with one that I didn't bring that I've seen, but like you could fold them up here to make like winglets, true winglets up near the front, dog teeth, if you will, to a point, or fold them down so there's like straight canards, or just a different kind of strake, we'll call it that, or a different kind of winglet, but they're downward folding, which I thought might actually add some lift. But again, you add something more on the vertical plane, on the horizontal aircraft like these, that's just another set of rudders you got to get straight that if mess up, you have to do that much more tweaking to make sure the plane flies straight. And you have to ask yourself, do you want to tweak that much every damn time to get that plane to fly straight? It's one of the reasons why I hated Nova for so long and kind of still do. Because with winglets and hedrils in the back, and then the canard strakes up in the front, they all got to be right, because that's why I had problems with the corkscrewing. Because if any one of the ones up here are wrong, while these are wrong, and you could see where the problem would lie, that all 4 of them would have to be tweaked to get the plane to fly just so. It makes me wonder how the earliest ones flew as good as they did. But that's why. I mean, I accepted it because they did, and yet it's like the first 3 were that good? They were that good? Damn. I was on a roll back in '89, boy, but whatever. Anyway, just be forewarned, again, if you're playing with that. You play with multiple tailplanes or fins, and the more, it sounds cool, but the more you add, the worse off you're going to be, and you might get pissed off. Like, you'd like to think, if you see the plane and it corkscrews, its flight is kind of like this when it goes into the ground, you're thinking like, hell, if I put a little flap, a little aileron, something like that, I can get it to fight back. No, that's not the work. It's in your rudders. Your rudders are causing it. It's actually one of the reasons why I started cutting rudders like out of even normal planes like phases. This is a good one example because I did it like that. This is a standard cut for phases. I mean, like just so much as like the STE is the what I call it actually had the USRS and the DSRS, the downward slope or the upward sloping rudder. It just changes from various degrees, like all the way through. Like obviously a regular one would come straight down, but I cut it like this. I could have cut it like this. That's just a different rudder setting. Or like an upward slant. I called this like the downward slant, but might have been the upward slant. I don't know. But I would literally have flipped it so it actually came out to a point back here as a stinger. They all worked because phase is extremely stable. But There's a certain stability factor. And you'll notice it like in paper airplanes. With gliders, it seems to help if you kind of reduce that rudder. True gliders, long range, if you take out the rudder like this, I don't mean like this is like dangerously close to like Norfing it, no rear fuselage, but like if you take that out, you're basically shifting, again, the keel, you're shifting it out. It's kind of what Pacer does. So it doesn't really affect the center of gravity because your weight is still there, but like if you shift it up, you're shifting it forward. So like that's where the wind stops instead of the wind stopping here. Now, again, gliders seem to like it with the body of the plane ending before the wing of the plane. Phases, especially the 3s and 4s, I think they worked so well because everything ended here. Like, I try to make it a point to have the winglet terminate where the rudder terminates. It's almost an even line. It's not quite, but it's almost an even line. So when the wind stops, when that drag starts, when the vortices come off of it, they're coming off in the same area. You know what I mean? Like 2s with that same, they did get this, but they didn't get this. Like 2s started the upward slope and downward slope rudder cuttings. But when they were like this, then the vortices started here, but if you did this, they started here. Actually, I think that offered a pretty good flight, but this is getting into complicated aerodynamics. You got to like learn to follow or get out the way. No, I'm just kidding. But these are minor tweaks that actually make major differences to the aircraft that I highly recommend always try. Like all kinds of rudder cuts like this. Like make it this severe, but then turn around and, 26. Make it this shallow. Or the other flip side, put it out towards the stinger so that you're cutting it this way. The line goes back the other way. That extends the keel of the aircraft. And again, I think like you find a trend that happened if you watched real flight, if you watched real Air Forces, real aircraft. If the more maneuverable they were, what they started doing was like the F-22, like the F-35, like F-16s to a degree, but F-14s and 15s even, like the 70s, we realized that the further back you can put the tailplane behind the engine exhaust, the more maneuverable they get. Basically because you're destabilizing the center of gravity of the aircraft. You're like most of the times in almost all of those aircraft, that stabilator back there is an all-moving tailplane. Like it doesn't like there's not flaps on the back end. The whole thing moves. Watch any plane in there, like seriously, at an air show, in a dogfight or whatever, they flip. And if it's a fly-by-wire like F-16s, they're really cool. They do that on the taxi. There's bumps in there. It's really cool to watch because as they taxi, the tailplane just swivels to meet because it's adjusting for the angle of attack. Kind of cool. It's what we did when we started putting it on by fly-by-wind. We tried that too. That's kind of what these are. When they're really loose, when they're really a single plane, just separated anything, they're at the mercy of the wind. But in paper airplanes, for something like this, if as long as it's loose enough and it's not creating the drag, it's actually trying to help stabilize the aircraft. A long time ago, me and Randy from Copeland Industries, Rip Randy, that is the one that passed away April 6th, why we have an April 6th day. We tried on our interceptors, he tried it on, I can't remember, he tried it on a bunch of his planes because we were launching actual rockets. Rockets can be recovered two ways, parachute or streamer. Well, obviously a parachute on an aircraft is going to slow it down, drag it. Streamers can do the same thing because it's a readily acceptable way for rockets to be retrieved safely. But it's a long, fat streamer. You can't put a long, fat streamer on a plane that you expect to glide because it acts as drag. It slows it down. So we did ribbons, very light tissue paper, like seriously, like Christmas ribbons, and put them back there at short distances. They help stabilize, in my case, they help stabilize javelins. They would help stabilize any of your interceptors. I wouldn't put them on gliders unless they were really light and really short. Probably like for example, the phase here, I'd probably make it this long from back here and out of like tissue paper, carbon copy paper, something really stupid light, toilet paper even. Because anything heavier, like if it was just take regular copy paper and throw it there, too much drag. It'd probably stabilize it and it'd be really, really good. for a short range plane, but you could never get it to glide. It would add too much drag. The weight would hinder it more than the length. Like you can make one as long as the plane, but I'm pretty sure at that point you're starting to add drag. That's something you'd really have to experiment with, and we did do that. We took the time back then. You'll notice a bunch of my planes don't have it because it didn't warrant that much research and furthering of the tech that we wanted to keep it on there, so we didn't do that. But it's a good possibility, and it definitely helps interceptors. It'll straighten out any interceptor problem. It won't straighten out a double rudder, but it can really stabilize and straighten out aircraft if you let it. So again, good thought. Just something else to consider. We're talking a lot of aerodynamics today, but that's good. And these are things that can be added to ACS. All of these things I'm mentioning can be added to ACS. Well, okay, I guess you probably can't add the rudder because you're already putting it. You can't do a DSRS because it's already built in. You don't have a rudder area there to cut. I would almost say don't put the tail in, but I'm not going to say that because the tail is a crucial element of the aircraft. The vertical fin, the aircraft needs that. But it makes an axe an axe. It makes a coyote a coyote. So, like, I'm not going to say take that out. That I know this is dangerously close to a different aircraft. That was a different aircraft. So, I told you how to build axe. Stick with that. But anyway, like I said, symmetricality, if you leave it open, that's one thing. I'm just trying to think of all the options. Obviously, I would not give up on it because, like, I've got 10 of them. I might actually have a dozen of them, and they're all basically, they're built the same way. They're about as good as each other. Weight's pretty much near the front, and I definitely would say, like, don't mess with the fold, kind of. I mean, if anything else, what you probably should do instead of making the stinger is like that fold that's in there, cut the fold out. And just stop it right here. Like this fold, like this is the fold exposed, which looks really cool. And it tucks the wing pockets down. So, I mean, there's that option. That's not the one you built. There's the one you built. So, sorry. Like, you got the one here, so it's tucked back in there. So, in other words, this one would only be flipped up, and you'd see it like this. But you can cut that off, so this is all you would see. There's still weight up here, but there's less weight up here. So it's like the Stinger, except the Stinger distributes the weight here and takes it away from the front. This puts it back in the front, just puts half of it up there. That's another thing you definitely should try. Actually, I think like maybe. But the thing about it is, though, is these are all options, of course. It's just that I honestly don't think that weight issues is probably what was causing this aircraft to fly worse, if you will. I mean, like I said, as long as you're not expecting this thing to damn like glide forever, it's gonna do its job. I would drop frames like a bitch. Who knows? Anyway, it's not supposed to be long range, but it's supposed to be further than short range, close range, close to short. It's not close to short. It's short. It should be touching short, or it realistically should be short to medium. So as long as you're doing that, it's all right. Wow. Fucking wow. Anyway, as long as it's close to short, I would think that it's probably, or anyway, from the close to medium, rather. I think it's good. You want it to beat something short range. I think it should be better than short range. I'm hoping it's better than short range for everybody. I didn't build it to give it to you so you could just have something that goes around your face. I give it to you so you'd have something that's potentially, I don't know, pretty long range. So yeah, I could probably pull it out of my head. God damn. Anyway, so let's still play with it. There's a lot of things to do with it that I'm even thinking of just now looking at even this one. Like I don't think I ever. This is two different folds. I wonder what it'd be like to actually fold this thing back against the front pocket. Yeah, yeah, up in the air. Um, they seem to have some pretty good lift. So I don't remember seeing. I didn't seem to remember having any like other issues. But also, like, obviously, you didn't get a chance to do these. You built the skates, and I think I don't know you because you built others without the shit. Why am I dropping so bad? A little bit of a lag. We'll get over it, people. I promise. You built them like these, like the standard ones here. So obviously, try to get to the point where you want to put the tailplanes in, and see what the tailplanes do. Um, like this one's never flown outside. I have no idea, truthfully, what this one would be like outside. Or this one either. The only notebook paper one built, but it's got the tailplane that's kind of short. I'm really anxious to see what this one will do, just because I gave it such weird ass, like winglets. I have flown it inside, and I mean, again, they're really good. Even that one's really good. Um, like this one here actually gives it Delta diamonds. I actually cut separations in it. I had to do a duplicate of this one because this one got ran over, and this one flew good the way it was. This one has the exposed fold, the same folds, but they're both exposed outside the aircraft on the other side, so they're not even in here. But again, like, that just goes to show you what you can do. This literally is just, you can see where the evolution was. That's literally just taking a sliver out so you can form a tailplane. But it gives it kind of a Delta Diamond effect. And that helps to stabilize a plane this short. Delta Diamonds will stabilize the aircraft. But again, don't expect too much. Keep in mind this aircraft is inherently, every time you build it, it's as short as it is wide. So it's never going to be like the super duper, I'm a glide forever aircraft. You may get more out of it. Pacer will definitely help get more out of it. I've proven that. One of these, two of these, 8 of these have gotten Pacer, I think. But eye level's not bad. I don't think I've really. It's kind of second nature to me to throw them at a slight up angle always. Any plane, doesn't matter what it is. Even if I start out like knowing it's going to be a dive bomber or a stunter, I'm still going to like throw it up just in the hopes that it like, okay, maybe I guess, like this is a great example. The lines I got on the board are a great example. 30 degrees. Actually, I suppose I would throw it somewhere like in between there. But the 30 degrees is a good example. I wouldn't kick it up this way, but I'd definitely throw it from 30 degrees down. And probably wouldn't throw it. Yeah, right. Probably wouldn't throw it like, I mean, eye level isn't bad. I can't remember if they picked themselves up or not. But I know I did throw it up because I do that with like every aircraft. I throw them up like somewhere in this window. Say like this thing is great for this illustration. Say that's you, this corner right here. So yeah, I'd more or less somewhere from the 30 degree to 15 degree. And then if that didn't work, I'd actually start tossing it higher. I mean, it's a good point that you bring it up. Oh, she'll almost put that up when we're talking about flying aircraft. God damn it, it's lagging again. I should almost talk about that when bringing up with like aircraft. That's how you fly though, because again, like eye level. Man, I don't know if I do that with like hardly any of them. This one, I would do that with this one because I'm not expecting this one. This is a stunter anyway because it's wider than it is long. So no, it's a stunt aircraft. So yeah, I know what this thing's gonna do. I couldn't even trust this one to throw it at the ground because the way I designed it, I would almost expect it to do the opposite. It'd probably nosedive. I can't explain to you, like, that just comes with experience. Years and years of flying, and was just know that like I didn't give this thing any reason to go up. So it'll probably just dive. It's really funny that I called it built it with a do not use sheet because it really is almost to the point of do not use. But it's cool, so I'm obsessed with making this crank boom with the fillets and stuff. Anyway, yeah, your short yard probably didn't help. I'm not gonna like all fire say the solution is taking it to La Follette. I don't think like that's totally the answer, but it's definitely gonna help out. Like Dude, I barely even, like, seriously, when you see me taking videos, I know you haven't noticed it much, but, like, I'm never in my yard. You've been here once, twice, once, twice. You've been here. But if you remember my yard, it's sizable. It's bigger than yours. But then again, wheelchair access is bigger than yours. So I'm just saying, like, I don't ever throw here either. Because even, like, these, if they fly like they do at work, which is where they've flown almost exclusively, yeah, street's cool. If you don't mind hopping fences, because if they do, like you got a lot of traffic. Maybe not so much down your street, but I think a bit. But like you got a lot of fenced yards, so if they fly like they could fly, they're going to be over a fence unless you take them closer to the fairground, closer out that way. So this is why it's always good to have like a park or somebody's friend's yard that's like close by. It's got some size. Yeah, anything. Me, I live in the middle of Farmville. I got my choice, even though I never take it to a farm. Um, it's it's got the potential to go across those. I said, I remember your place, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what. Sorry, that sounded almost a little big headed, but I know, guys, I know his place, so I know what he's dealing with. I know, like the flights, and I know what you guys will be dealing with, depending on the yard and like what I've seen out of these. If you get them right, if you left it on tape, that could be part of the problem. If you're worried about the wing curve asymmetricality, like I said, just put the folds in them, like at this level, like about halfway, and just fold it. Don't I wouldn't super crease it, like you put a nice crease in everything that's in there. I wouldn't do that. I would just make sure there's enough of a fold so that the outer wing goes down while the inner wing goes up. So you could duplicate the curve without having the curve. You know what I mean? Like I know this it's not exact because there's kind of like an S curve to those aircraft. But if you do put it there and it starts going down, hell, you could put it out. You know what I mean? Or even like I said, the winglets. I firmly believe like the curve is not necessary. Well, actually, I know it's not because I've built Coyotes without the curve and just given them winglets. They fly just fine. Just don't, like I said, don't expect the world of them. So, and doing it that way, what's up, Robert? Yeah, I mean that's one way. Like I said, like that's coming. Do you see where we're at? Like we can't really. Those are going to have to be all new aircraft, clean slate. Like, I can't do with any of these. I couldn't expect to build the proper wing area, wing ratio, weight, balance, center of gravity balance out of any one of these just by simply tapering it. I do kind of wonder if you taper it, like if, like we're gonna have to, you have to do a show, like a kind of interview style show on yourself. Yes, D, I'm talking to Rob. Rob's on there. And I said, you need to do like a kind of like guide us along the history of Powerhouse to taper. Well, I'm sure you could, but will it fly? I said, you're advanced now. You're building aircraft that look more like real aircraft. They have bodies. They have roundedness. They have shape. You know what I mean? Like yours are freaking real planes. Yours don't, hell, you don't really have to fold. This more like a real aircraft. I mean, look at that shit. It's a body. It's rounded. This is what I'm talking about. There's no fold here. When you fly it, you got to grab it like this. I can't grab it on the only fuselage piece. That's like, and you did give me cause. That's one of the reasons why I built these. Was like, okay, so I got to see what Robert had because these fly like these. No shit. You can post a couple more videos. I'll show you, but like they fly the same, and I know why, because of all your freaking like this. It's all the vertical surfaces. You did cut rudders into them, so you can play with that, but it's harder to taper a fold. I'm segueing. I'm sorry. What I meant was, what I was starting out to say is you need to do a rundown of the history of yours from Powerhouse to taper and show people like us, the inquisitive minds. So did you start out tapering these regular folded paper airplanes and then got advanced enough to fold and it started turning them into actual lifting bodies that like have no fuselage that you folded? Because again, like I have no doubt you can taper them, but I really don't think they're going to fly like they've used to, tapered. Will they be better, longer? I don't know. And some people, like, it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am not belittling it. I'm just saying, like, if I were to taper this, I've not learned to expect this as a short to medium range attack plane. You taper the shit out of it, it becomes a medium to long range striker, and like all of a sudden, well, shit. Like that's not what I was looking for. I just changed this like entire dynamic. And again, I'm not belittling the science, the artistry, nothing. I'm just saying, like, if you do a request for proposal, you want a certain aircraft and you do something to it and the technology changes the aircraft, just be ready. So I could do it. I don't doubt it. I'm just expecting some. I don't know what to expect. I know it won't fly like this. So, and I'm guessing also you say like, yeah, that'd be cool. Barcodes, that'd be cool. But it would also be like cool to see, like I said, like I'd like all of us to do that. A real history breakdown of like how our company started and stuff. That's something that we talked about that like years ago. That's something I still want to get to in the future. Kind of like an interview show. I think that'd be kind of cool. I always saw that, like, that's one of the reasons for like, when I printed the magazines, I always had that. I'd have, like, friends writing it, like, just answer these questions and, like, how you would term it. Say, anyway, I'm going to be really deep with that crap. But anyway, like, I mean, because would you even, like this, would you bother with a fuselage in there then? Or would you just taper it as a wing and then, like, hold it and then end up throwing it like this? Do you know how funky this feels? I got no problem with that. I think it'd be kind of cool. Oh, see that, D? Look at that crap. This one's different, too. This one's got actual Dale in it. No curved wing. It's got Dale. And so these aren't even down. But I didn't even cut them. So these aircraft, like Coyote, they end up with a small, like Wyvern, end up with a small degree of Dale going on. Dual angle leading edge. I term it Dale. So like you got to fold here, then you got to fold here. So like this is actually leading edge. That's not a cut. That's a fold. And it's a really small amount. But I didn't cut it out. These actually have it too, but they're so short in stature when you do it that the fold goes over it, so there's no room for Dale. I know, man. You got to get better, brother. You got to get better. I've been praying for you, man. Like I said, like I get it. I know. I said you get yourself straight. Make sure you straight, and then you got to get back to us, man. You got to get back to us. You got to get back to your love, like something that de-stresses you, something that like makes you forget the badness around you. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying. So, like if you get into the flying, you get into the building, the crafting. You forget all that crap. You forget you're recording a show. It's one of the reasons why you guys don't get too many builds. Because, like I said, you get into it. You guys noticed the show the other night, 3 hours long. It had all of us building, or at least 2 of us building, and like they were quiet because they were building. You get in the building, you forget. Yeah, it's just be right. Be well with yourself. So hopefully we get you back the way we know and love you, and then like we can see aircraft once again the way aircraft need to be seen. Yeah, but I've definitely been interested in how that works. So I thought it, like, something like that make for interesting viewing, make for an interesting show, I think. I'm just trying to get my man D right here. Like, make sure, like, I don't want everybody to think I gave him a lemon. But like I know I'm not overly worried. I know you guys don't think that. I know you've seen the videos. I know the aircraft house that SILPAD is, you can expect good things. So these aircraft, like, and then something like this from Pilot House, like you can taper, you can. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but stuff like that also, as a builder, as a contractor, as a constructor, can't let that get you down either. You got to have the test flights You got to have your number 16. Maybe that's what the key is. Maybe you have to build 16 of them, and then you'll have it. um, get lost in it. That way you forget everything. But yeah. I mean, that's what matters. That's all that matters. Like getting it right. I mean, like I said, because I've had my share, like just as much as I've had my share of winners, something like that. I've also had my share of like this. This isn't even a plane I expected to fly. This is literally a technology test bed. This will be put out the pasture. This is. It flew a few times. It's going straight out the pasture. Like seriously, I'll probably shoot at it, burn it, and put it out. It's a technology demonstrator. It's. I built something just like because paper's a like almost an infinite resource. Thanks to the fact that none of us have ever gone digital fully yet, even though we're in the touchscreen, smartphone, tablet phase, we still haven't got to the point of like doing away with paper. So there seems to be like an infinite amount of paper from everywhere. So anyway, I'm so looking forward to that, dude. Rob, like seriously, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to like we being with you again, like you being you and the cool videos you put out. I know I'm not the only one. I've seen other people saying like you get yourself straight, but like it's more than that. I'm definitely anxiously awaiting. It's like you showed the shot of like how many you're shipping off to my factory, which I can't wait for. But that actually looks kind of cool, doesn't it? I thought we talked about hybrids a while back. That actually, well, the wing's too big, but the fin back there is really cool. But anyway, yeah, I've had my fair share of like awesomeness in the shape of that, but I've also had my share of frustration in the shape of that. That is a Nova, and yeah, these are so hard. Like man, so frustrating. I mean, you know what? It helps to know why you're frustrated. Like when I first got frustrated with it, and it went on hiatus for 7 freaking years. 7 years, I put this thing to bed. It is one of the primary, like, no joke. You guys might have thought this is the icon. You guys, like, we wouldn't even talk about phases. I would have put, like, no joke, if this thing would have actually taken off the way I expected and thought it could because of its looks, because of how the initial fleet of 5 to 7 flew, like, literally, it's 5 to 7 of them. I would have stalled out and killed the phase program entirely. I'm not even kidding. This would have been the one. I expected this to be the one. Because I knew that the 2 was basic. What I did with the 2 was basic. I knew that the 1 was like special and a 2 was stripped down, combat ready. Yeah, it could fly, but like I thought this was like taking the 2 and just bring it up to like ready for the 21st century. You know what I mean? I thought this was shit. And I thought like, man, I was going places with this. So when it stopped, when I got to number 20, like I built 7 of like that first initial thing, half dozen. I was like, oh, these are awesome. This is going to be me. I mean, literally, I would have stalled out. There would have been no more phases. I'm not even freaking kidding. You mean, wait, double back. Before I get off, I'm already rolling on a tangent, but like, you mean there's paper at the core of this? This isn't all just tape. There's paper here. This is what I'm talking about. You got to film the construction process. You got to like talk about your history so you know like so there is paper in here. Is there tissue paper in here holding the body together? Like that's the shit I'm talking about. That's pretty cool. I mean, you showed how to build on a couple of those. Remember didn't you like go through like Zemus or RR7, right? And that's what I mean. Like that's what we were talking about. Like what did he do? How does he do it every time? I mean, you know, you can tell you feel there's something there, but it's so damn solid. And like, I don't think like you're talking about like what it's made out of, and that's like its core. Like, does it even matter what's in there if you tape it to this side? Like, it's taped to skin. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Like, holy cow, dude! Holy cow! Like, what else? It feels like there's a bunch of shit in here. Like, it's a giant paper football, but you know, That's damn. I'd almost want a how to build on that motherfucker. Like I want to know why. I want to know how. Anyway, I digress. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about like I'm considering the fact that like if you do this like so you build a pocket like no this is how I would do it like you build a pocket you stuff toilet paper in there so like the body's actually kind of got some support and then you finish it up. Like seriously, because there is you can see it from the side. There's a teardrop airfoil to it. It's got a little bit of fuselage a la the B2, so like it's got a bulk, but then it tapers to nothing. These are sharp edges. This is thick. This is body. You see that? But then the back end is knife edge. So it's like you have a hot pocket. You got a taco. You fill it with. It doesn't matter what you fucking fill it with, but then you just taper the back up and like you have your plane. That's how I do it. That's how it looks like it's been done. I can feel something in there, but God knows it's like the tape. When you put the tape in there, you could do whatever the hell. Like, see from this view, you could see there's like, yep, there's a leading edge cranked arrow and it leads to this. And without this section, and you take that out, you got this, then you have that, and you have that. What's that look like? That looks like a 117. Little less like the wing, the sweep back isn't like as great. Obviously, that's like about 30 angle sweep back, 45-degree sweep back. I'm using my angle checker here, and yes, it is like a 45-degree sweep back. When the Stealth Fighter has more like a 60. But that's what I mean. Like, I can see how it's done. Um, I can see the ways to do it. Like I don't doubt there's paper in it. I just know that I would probably like I wouldn't even bother. Which is why I was saying also like when you design you take the time to design something that's folded origami style or just regular folds, like it's a design. This is not it's not like this isn't a design. But I mean some things like this, as Mark was talking about too, not NASA's was talking about on the show, like these like, first of all, you have to have your template because you got to make sure there's two or more of the same type. But then, secondly, it's like, well, this thing, besides getting the weight right and what's inside there right, you can always just cut whatever the hell you want. You can cut anything. You can cut this. Get a little stuff on the inside and taper it shut. Like, that's what I mean. That's true manufacturing right there, I think, because you're doing your plan for them. You're building it. And in some ways, obviously there's work in the folds, but there's work in the construction here. The construction is the fold. This is, let's get the skeletal right, then enclose it, then skin it. So I think it's all. But yeah. D, it's not like, yeah, you got to get it. You would have to get it out. You'd have to get it out into a bigger area, I think. Got to get it away from your spot. Even if you took it to pet it, I mean, it's still going to be, I think it's a better option. I don't really know if it matters if it has. Hell, it could fly really good at La Follette. Or pet it even. Pet it's more like what I flew it in. Because, like, I was flying it outside at work, you know. I mean, we do have rolling hills. But if I had a rolling, like, our rolling hill where we work at, this is the parking lot where the hill is over here. That goes uphill. And the video I took, every time you saw the video, it's either flew level with the parking lot or it flew up the hill. Which, of course, like, if that was downhill, it'd go even further. So, it's all about your spacing. And, like, again, being an IVPAC member, you kind of consider how much area you need to defend and stuff like that. But obviously, some people, like, well, hell, I only need to build 2 planes because my yard's about, again, as big as a freaking kitchen table. So, you know, I'm teasing you, but I'm not. Because, like, obviously, development doesn't have to be as good if you only have that much area to cover. But we strive, we endure, we adapt, we overcome, we build bigger planes, we build more aircraft, like, because it's more fun to watch them glide out there. Somebody's. This is one of the reasons why we actually, when we get members in IVPAC, why we try to get them to build a range of aircraft, because a lot of everybody wants to have like variations on the same theme. Yeah, I know. They don't have anything at Pettit. But that's what I was saying. Like, it's more like what I've been flying them in. So at least it would be a very similar airspace. There's a couple buildings around, but not too close, and it's a flat open area. Hell, you even kind of got a hill because you got the highway over there, and you got the hill behind you off 84th. But you're not really, if you actually go to Pettit, it's not that close to you. You'd just be out in the open. So while it would be similar, it wouldn't be. I'd probably expect good flights there too, just like La Follette. Matter of fact, that would probably be, obviously, that's your best standard bearer for anybody. This is one of the reasons why, like, you see a lot of the videos, like ID 67 Kun, he puts out, or, well, I mean, anytime you see their aircraft fly, and by theirs, I mean, like, Japanese aircraft artists, origami artists, when they fly theirs, the white wing style, their gliders, they're in a vast, flat, open field. Not influenced by an uphill or a downhill. So if it is windy, it's windy universal. Usually no trees are breaking up, or they're in a stadium. God, wouldn't we like to fly in a stadium, huh? But yeah, I mean, so it's still an open area, but a controlled environment. So it isn't a controlled environment. It's supreme testability. Like La Follette, if it flies down the hill, it's a cheat because, like, well, it obviously went farther than it would because it's going downhill right now. Not a complaint. Turns out to be a super freaking flight. But, yeah, I just can't believe 7 years. Well, in a way, totally 7 years. But off and on through the 7. Like, I know I'm segueing back and forth, but like I've said, like I would have stopped at phase 2. I kid you guys not. I would have stopped at phase 2, and I would have concentrated on Nova, and we would be talking about Nova because Nova would be all I would be flying. If what stopped me, what made the whole difference, is them damn winglets. Seriously, it was the freaking winglets. If it wasn't for the fact that, like, when I was young and stupid, I didn't know that the reason why these planes kept corkscrewing is you got to make sure this and this, which also means this and this, they had to be totally aligned every time. And to a lesser extent, this. It basically has 5 rudders of various degrees. And these influence it so much. Like, it's really unbelievable. The top little strakelets influence it so much. These are obviously a big influence because they're off the wing and they're huge, but they always corkscrewed. So knowing what I know now, which is still knowing what I knew 20 years ago, like, okay, so I need to make sure this and this match the adjustment, or else I wasn't going to get the flight right. Well, that's why these always screwed up. And so instead of putting them out to pasture, basically just letting them sit there, do nothing, and like, okay, fine, it's just like a medium range trainer. Fine, screw it. Put them in reserves. Okay, take them back out of reserves. Okay, I like them again. You know, it was never, I was always tweaking the weight, but I never really was like I said, I figured it out later on, but I lost so much time with these planes. Like, it's one of the reasons why I didn't want to retire them, and I'll obviously still work with them, but they're staying out of active duty because they're just older. The design is older with me, but yeah, we'd have been talking about Nova because I enjoy Nova. I enjoy making it. I enjoy looking at it. I think they look really sharp. When they're on, they're on. They're spot on. They fly so good. But when they're on, the funny thing is the initial ones I didn't even have to tweak that much. So I got it was that golden BB. It was that 1 in a million. I got them right straight out the gate, so that was unusual in and of itself. But also the fact that, like, the weight balance in and of itself, I built them out of notebook paper. So they looked a lot like this, but they didn't look as sleek because for some odd reason, I think the notebook paper was shorter. I might have been using my leftover A3 paper or A4 from Germany. So I don't think I got it matched because this wing sweep, see, like on this one, the sweep here matches the leading edge of the base wing. This wing matched the base wing. On the notebook papers, it didn't. It was more like putting. It was more like putting this up front here. It was more like this. This wing sweep was in the front, and it worked. Like I think it's because it kept it at a shorter range. But and you see, like this thing's got 3 staples in the front because I'm trying to get the weight back into the front because it's not. It is obviously the rudders that cause the corkscrewing, but it's not just corkscrewing that's the problem with Nova. It's a weight issue. That back then I was frustrated. I didn't want it to work. I got it to work. I wanted something to work now. Phases did. Novas didn't. Now I enjoy the tweaking so much. It's fun to get these damn things to work. It's fun playing with its weight. It's fun playing with the cuts and stuff like that to try like, okay, what am I going to do to get you to work, baby? It's just too bad you're 30 years old. I remember like I'd actually did a magazine article on and even on the show I said like floating winglets, floating rudders on the strakelets are the thing. This one doesn't even have that. Still works, but doesn't even have that. Yeah. Okay, a lot of aerodynamics on this night. This is really cool. A lot of like I'm hoping we help you out, Robert, my friend. Like you got to get better, man. You got to get better. It's better life out there. It's better. Like seriously, it gets better. You can't just well, I mean, you can, but don't let it get to you, man. Don't let it get to you. It's like, it's just a rough spot, you know? There are rougher spots. So just make sure, you, like, keep your mind straight. Keep on being the person you can be. Don't let the bad make you bad, you know? We don't want you like that. Like to everybody's life, something like this must happen. But we don't want any way we can help you out. We want to help you out. Like I said, take the time and build something. Get your mind off things. Just get into the flow. Get into the construction. This really does help. I mean, it's almost I honestly, it's almost a Zen thing because if you've ever watched any of us build, you know we get into it. It's hard for me to put out instruction videos. It's one of the reasons why I haven't given you all that many yet. It's just because like it's hard to do instructional videos for you guys when like I just forget. It's like I got to get the folds right. Oh, never mind. So when you see the how to build, you'll see why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of the how to builds that are out there from other people are the same thing. They get so into them they can't talk to you because they're into concentrating on the folding. It's like it's artistry. It's no different than a painting, a drawing, or even like true construction of like shipping a model. You know, like you gotta concentrate. So yeah, most def you can't be distracted by outside. You can't be. Yeah, you just can't be. You got, like I said, and that's why I think getting lost in it for a time is good for you. It's good for something like depression. It's good for something like escapism, and you definitely need that. Definitely should do that. Yeah. So, okay, so work on it. Yeah, like if anything else, like I said, it's a new design to you guys. I don't know if any of you had the problems, but actually, I'm hoping like that just like flared you up. Like, okay, well, it's been a week since we were introduced, so now you're building it. Like you're going through the same thing KIA's going through. All those ideas, obviously, it's a world plane. So do that to it, do that with it. Anything I suggested, rewind, pause, go through. See what I was suggesting with all those planes. See if I get it right, because you don't want one of these. I've got a phase which is only slightly the phase family, which is only slightly slightly older than the Nova family by 4 years. Like one, if you count phase 2, was really when I really kicked in the high gear. But the reason why the phase family's got 700 and Nova's only just over 100, because I stalled out on that bird because she pissed me off because I was an idiot. Got frustrated. Didn't get the instant gratification. Don't settle for the instant gratification, because if you're looking for that, if you want that, if you expect, well, it flew for him, it's going to fly for me, and it doesn't. You can't do that. You can't. It'll serve to make you mad. It'll serve to, like, your introspective will be skewed off, and you won't develop the artistry. You got to get into the technique. You got to get into all the options. Your plane is not going to fly like mine. You don't throw like I do. Like I'm showing you those videos, and they're perfectly capable of flights like that. And everybody on this here internet, it's the same thing. You got it. Like, they give you how to builds on planes that look cool and that obviously fly cool for them. It doesn't mean they're going to fly that way for you. There's no guarantees. If you're playing with paper, if you're playing with folds, unless they send you the aircraft and their arm, which is also why you should probably put rubber band launching systems on there. But I digress. Like, they're not going to fly the same way, so you're going to have to build a lot. And even if you build 30 of them, only one's going to fly right. You may be tempted to trash the 29. Like, I got it. That's how videos are made. You ever watch those ones where somebody's trying to do those, like, little things, like pop a ping pong ball into a shot glass from 40 feet away? That's like the most basic of one. But if you watch, there's a whole bunch of things that dudes do, and they show you on, like, I got this on the 60th take. I got this on the 40th take. I got this on the 239th take. The point there is that it's that many attempts. Same thing with these. Same thing with this. Like, you're gonna be like, you ain't get it. It took Dalton 16 attempts. It took KA 16 attempts. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of winners in the phases, but they weren't always like that. There are numbers that are easily forgotten, and I've burned a lot of them. If you remember my factory video, there's like, I don't know, 30 in pry fly. There's probably about 50 hanging up. But I guarantee you, I don't really remember if I showed you the inside of the palace, but I can guarantee you in the palace there's probably only 20 or 30. And if you do the math, that means there's like 500 missing. They're gone. Maybe I've got 100 in total here. Maybe somehow between pry fly, the hanging up the palace, whatever. Maybe I've even got 150, but I know I don't have 400. They're gone. They're destroyed one way or another. They weren't memorable. So that's what I mean. Like, you got to have your stick figures before you can have your, like, Mona Lisas. There you go. See? So you keep it in mind. Just keep building. Keep building, get into it, lose yourself in it, get it right, and then lose yourself in the flights. And for God's sake, video of them after you do that, because that'd be really cool. So we all good? Because it's approaching an hour and a half, and I kind of I need to actually get a couple other things done too, but don't mean to, this isn't cutting it short, but this is what I wanted to do. So I got a couple other things I do need to get done. Or want to get done. How about that? Not like I don't want to spend time doing this, because actually I really kind of do. I got into it. This is actually great. I want to help my boy Robert feel better. I want to make my boy Dalton feel better about the builds and getting them right. And for the record, Dalton, I don't think that all the whole dozen axes flew straight out the gate perfectly, or even right now flew perfectly either. I think they all need tweaks and mods, and they're not all there yet. So again, I've got 10 or 12. They're not all perfect. Cool. Well, that's what I mean. That's what it's for. That's great. That's what it's for. I want to hear everybody talking about that, because I want to see everybody. I want to see 42 different axe designs, because even I can think of Like I said, I got 12 of them here, and only 8 of them, like only 2 or 3 of them are the same. The rest are all different some way, shape, or form. So I know it's a hybridized design that you could possibly even argue aren't even axis. But you consider making it, you consider naming it yet? Have you thought about like giving it a name? What you're going to call your version of it? I hope everybody comes up with a different name. I think it'd be really cool. I'm not going to do it, just so you guys know. Like, it's literally for you guys, for everybody. It's for everybody. It's a world plane made, like, designed and initially made by Cell, but you guys can claim it. Whatever you do to it, doesn't matter if you build the same one I did. It's yours. You make it, it's yours. So I expect to see different names for it. I'm never going to call it anything but the Axe. Yes, it's a little twisted from EAX, but it's the Axe. That's cool. I eagerly anticipate what it will be. Hopefully you get it to flying. Like, and you got 2 more designs, cool. And you get more. There is a lot of shit to be done with it. There's a lot of shit to be done with it. So, I mean, there really is. Like I said, I can think of so much stuff. Between the variations on the same thing, I can, especially because I haven't even put on stuff that came from Coyote. Yes, some of these things Coyote's going to borrow, but like here's another example. This one, I think I showed it, but I wasn't sure. Like this one's got all the folds flipped upside down, but this nose is double folded so that it's only here. Can you see that? Obviously, you can see that. Like normally the fold would be back. Well, you know where it'd be. The other ones have it. That's this fold. But it's like taken to an extreme. It's only in the extreme nose. So this one's nose is extremely heavy. Because it's only up in the front. Same plane. It just got double. It's just this got double folded. It's like actually instead of like, I think the first one like we showed you, you folded it back here and then folded it in half, and that's where you get the triangle. I think we literally took it and folded it in a third, so it went back one, then back another, and then you got this. Another option to consider. I mean, oh my God, by all means, play with it. You can goblinize it before you do, like, when you cut the tail, you're cutting the tip. It's, yeah, the nose is, dude, I don't know if you can tell, but, like, look at the thickness on this freaking nose. This is really, yeah. This one got a few dents in it. It's flown. Yeah, it's solid. This is, yeah. This ain't like nothing. Like I can do that. I can knock on the. I wouldn't even do that with this because I'll probably dent this one's nose. Yeah, it's really freaking heavy. Still flies pretty good. Open too. A goblin tail. Like before you even like when you get this fold and where the tail is, you leave it a triangle. Do like this cut right here, right? Obviously gives it the look, you know, like it looks like a fin because it's got a cut off top. Yeah, it is like javelin. It really is. It goes farther, but then it flutters a lot, so it's not like ridiculously farther. Try it. Kind of cool. Don't do this cut. Like here, I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna change it because I want to actually reduce the fin here. I think the fin on this one's a little bit too tall. So don't do this cut. Instead, do the cut, like, take it apart. Do the cut here, down a length. Like, not too far. Like, literally probably the tip of your scissors. So basically where this thing would be at. And then you can fold it and give it a T-tail. Goblin style. Because that's what Goblin likes to do. Try that one. It's a little bit, it's barely a T-tail. It's obviously not a full tail plane. It's like strakes on the tail tip, but it's something. I mean, there's so many options. There's not like there's like not so many options with any aircraft like this. But even Nova don't like UFR. But now that I've got like again, Hey, you want to rehash old aircraft, you like retired aircraft because you think they weren't cool. Like this technology, Nova can use. I can do this in here and give it tail fins. Yeah, it probably shouldn't get tail fins because we're already having rudder issues, but I could do it. And I probably will try it. It's probably going to suck. It's definitely going to piss me off because, I mean, seriously, what? You want me to put two more things I got to put rudders on to get it to fly straight? It ain't going to do nothing but corkscrew. At that level, I'm going to have to put a pilot in to control all that shit. Insane. It's fucking. Oh, man. Yeah, but. Yeah, this thing. That thing's a beast. That is a honking beast. That one. Yeah, different aircraft entirely, probably. Probably shouldn't even call it what it is, but it's still an axe. So I just actually did that at first because I wasn't gonna. I did it on purpose. I wasn't gonna release the program and let everybody know about it until I had a bunch of variants out there to show that you could really do that. Oh my god. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I'm gonna call it because that actually carried. Well, I didn't really get it. Carried this extra 7 minutes, but no big deal. I think it was a good show. Did y'all think it was a good show? I liked it. We had fun with it. That's really all that matters. Um, yeah, that's really all that matters. So we're gonna get. I don't know when that's gonna happen. Don't expect that anytime soon. But I do want to say, like, I hope it was a good show. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Got a couple more things to do before, like, we close down for the night. So yeah, play with the X. I'll give you updates. You're gonna get some more videos on like 26-6, among others, flying. Um, and we'll see where we go from there. But that's where we're at now. Build some planes. Don't forget yourself. Don't lose yourself, but lose yourself in the planes. Yeah, lose yourself in the art of crafting and creating. And God forbid flying. Enjoy the flights. Really, seriously, enjoy the flights. That's what it's all about. Enjoy the flights. I hope y'all got what you need to get out of it. Thanks for coming in.